Deadly poison or ghost family. It was a long time ago, in those days when our great grandmothers still walked under the table. Then the family appeared. They say this was the first Cinderella and Snow White. Yes, but with a bad ending. A large rich family, sustained by all the traditions of that time, lived normally, everyone loved each other, everyone respected their parents. Family is a family. But the happiness did not last long. The mother suddenly died of an unknown disease. The history of the family became more mysterious. Daddy did not have time to take care of the children and his merchant affairs, so he hired a nanny for them. Not because they had no relatives anymore, but because he was most afraid of leaving the kids with his cruel old aunt. She lived in the basement, and everyone had long called her a witch. Not only from her terrible appearance, but also from her actions. Where a raven falls down without strength, or a toad drowns in milk, there she will take it and drag it into the basement. And no one ever knew what she was doing there. Since she only goes out at midnight, neither eats nor drinks, and talks only with her learned owl and black cat Ambergris. The nannies didn't stay in that big house for a long time. Even though their father paid them a lot, and they lived in luxurious chambers. As soon as they visited his wife's room, they immediately died, disappeared or ran away without memory. And the children often complained about someone's moaning and snuffling. Apparently the spirit of their mother visited them. They were her children. So she didn't touch them, even love them. My father hired so many nannies and they didn't stay long as one. It remained only to call the aunt. There was no other choice. So they decided, but even here the deceased mother was dissatisfied. She tried to intimidate her aunt, but nothing could affect the evil charms of the second. And the mother felt something was wrong. My father also died of boredom. The children were left alone with their aunt and they did not have to be with her for a long time. All the older ones left to build their lives. Little Isabella remained alone in the house with her aunt. She was only 10 years old. She was a burden to her aunt. Feed her and put her to bed. He torments the cat, asks the owl about the future, climbs on his knees. So she decided to get rid of it. She made a compote with poison for lunch and gives it to the girl. Here, Isabella, drink some cold compote. The old woman tried to smile. You're thirsty. Isabella wanted to take a glass, but she was very afraid of her aunt. She just smiled wider and put the glass on the table. You can have a drink whenever you want, she said casually, and went into the basement. Isabella didn't think for a long time, took a sip, and put the glass down. Her aunt cooked tasteless, unsweetened compote came out. But the little girl knew how her aunt would swear and was afraid that she would bewitch her and decided to pour out the compote. First in flowers, in boxes, salt and pepper shakers, under the table, in bottles and in different places. Soon the poison took effect and Isabella fainted. Auntie came back and was delighted, at last her burden was gone. I just wanted to take the body and bury it in the backyard when the old woman noticed out of the corner of her eye that something small, transparent, white was sitting on a chair and next to it was the same, but bigger. She realized that it was the spirit of Isabella and her mother. Her face became terrible, distorted her. And Isabella laughed in a thin childish voice, at first kindly, gently, quietly, and then loudly and angrily together with her mother. From all the places where the girl hid the compote, red-hot blood suddenly poured out of the mouth of Isabella, mother and aunt. Auntie fell down without strength and caught fire. It burned for a long time, the castle and the courtyard burned down, and the ghostly family still lives in ruins.